All right, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a dark, stormy night, thunder rolling, lightning flashing, and in the yard, there's a guy hunting for old helicopter parts and battered VW buses. That's the night the Frankencopter was born. Or at least that's how the legend goes. In reality, this masterpiece didn't come together in one dramatic evening. But honestly, the story feels too good not to tell. The man behind it all is Chuck Jurgen Teschke, and what you're looking at here is actually the Frankencopter 4. That alone tells you this wasn't a one-off idea. Chuck's been through plenty of long nights cutting, sanding, beating, and welding scrap into something totally unexpected. He's been at this for years, and when you learn that he's the director of maintenance at Aurora Jet Partners with nearly 4 decades of aircraft maintenance experience, it suddenly makes a lot of sense. Still, there's no denying there's a serious artist hiding behind that technical background. If you ever scroll through Chuck's Facebook page, be warned, you might lose track of time. His posts documenting these builds go deep, and honestly, I got a little lost myself. But the origin story isn't the important part here. What really matters is the end result, and this thing is easily one of the most mind-bending projects I've come across in a long while. At its core, the Frankencopter 4 is a mashup of a classic VW T1 bus and an Airbus H125 helicopter, both of which started life as discarded wreckage. And before you ask, no, it doesn't fly. Chuck describes it as static industrial art. And a big reason for that is cost. Functional aircraft parts are wildly expensive. So he works with old, decommissioned, and even contaminated components instead. Blending a van and a helicopter into one cohesive piece is no small feat. So Chuck actually drew up modified blueprints before touching a tool. From there, it was all about cutting, welding, and reshaping both machines until they became one. And somehow it works. The front end of the VW flows seamlessly into the helicopter's tail, complete with cowling, rotor, and blades, and it looks way more natural than it has any right to. The VW front end was heavily modified, with the headlights removed and the body cut open to create viewing panels, while the iconic bumper stayed right where it belongs. Then there are the rivets. Lots and lots of rivets, running along the sides, the lower body, and even underneath, giving it that rugged industrial feel. One of my favorite details has to be the viewing windows on top of the fuselage. Helicopters don't normally have windows like that, but after seeing this, it almost feels like they should. Chuck has mentioned that one of the hardest parts of the whole build was matching the VW paint to the helicopter's finish. Even the red pinstriping was done by him, and at one point, he even toyed with a paint scheme that looks suspiciously like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. As fun as that is, I have to say the beige and white combo he settled on feels perfect. It looks period correct, a little serious, and just retro enough to sell the illusion. To really tie it all together, Chuck added classic VW touches to the helicopter section too. Sitting right on top of the rotor hub is a spray-painted VW wheel hub, and once you notice it, you can't imagine it any other way. It's such a small detail, but it absolutely makes the piece. And Frankencopter 4 is far from the end of the story. Digging into Chuck's past projects reveals some truly wild ideas, like a helicopter with an old Ford cab on the front, or even one using a combine harvester cab. Clearly, there are no rules here. Right now, he's already working on Frankencopter 5 and 6, with one of them dubbed the Bell Hotel, and I genuinely can't wait to see how that turns out. All of this has earned Chuck a massive following, with over 150,000 fans on Facebook and another 57,000 on Instagram. At this point, he's not just building art, he's building a movement. And honestly, I can't help but wonder if he takes commissions. Because somewhere out there, there's definitely someone with deep pockets who would love to park a Frankencopter in their collection.